Profile Gilbert. So it has to do with 10 actions you need to take if you want to reach the peak. And for those of you that do not know me, I've been involved in network marketing for over 40 years, started in this business, totally broke, had to sell a junk truck to get started, put $200 into my business. Last 27 years, I've lived off residual income on this call. So tonight I want to talk about, some of you have my book, Reaching the Peak. I'm not going to do a book report, okay? Or cover my book, okay? And Nirvita from Malaysia, nice to see you. So what I'm going to talk about, though, is there are certain nuances, if you will, that I want to talk about in the book that would help you in your journey to becoming a network marketing professional. That is, reaching your peak. The effort that we make in this journey to attain greatness and all that. And so I'm actually, I'm going to be giving this at 10 o'clock on a Zoom call to a lot of the leaders in my team in the Philippines. But I wanted to open it up to everybody, regardless of your, what company you're in. Because it really doesn't matter. All these laws apply to all of us, regardless of the company that we're in. And if we apply it, it's going to be helpful. So let's kick it off, okay? So we're talking about 10 essential actions that you need to take, to reach the peak, to reach your goals in network marketing. Again, we're a profession that is attacked repeatedly through Google and so many what I call left-wing nut jobs out there that do not understand our profession. Most people that join a network marketing company join it to use the product. Somebody introduced a product to them. That others will look at how many people are in that company and say, well, see, most of them don't make money. Well, most of them didn't join to make money. See, it's fake news. But we're talking about for those people who did join to make money, and perhaps they didn't. Again, some of that's going to be they're not putting these action steps in place. Now, here's the first one that I was just thinking about today. And that is this, because we're so worried about how we're viewed by others. We're concerned about how others and what they think about us. If we only knew the truth, they don't think about us that much at all. We're not on their mind. But if we want to be great in network marketing, here's my advice. Don't try to be normal. Don't try to be normal. I'm going to tell you, the people that go to the top in this profession are abnormal people. Yes, I'm one of them. Abnormal. In other words, we don't try to fit in. Sure, we like to be viewed by our peers and accepted by our peers in a positive way. That's a natural human desire. Wouldn't you agree? It's really true. But the fact is, we've got to come down to the reality that if we want to be successful in network marketing, the kind of people that go to the top are abnormal people. They're not normal people. Now, normal people sell out for a paycheck.
Abnormal people. Here you are. You have one.
That's abnormal.
Yeah. Just come back from playing tennis. How are you guys? My Philippine family.
No, this is a live, so everybody from everywhere is on this one.
Oh, okay. Hey.
Yeah, I'm going to come to that one later.
Great. See you soon. Take care.
So that's an abnormal person. So she just came back from playing tennis with my son. So anyway, again, if we want to be successful, we have to understand, we have to accept the fact that we cannot be normal. Normal people live from paycheck to paycheck. Normal people have goals like paying the bills. Normal people just want to get by. But let me ask you, friends, how is that working in the world right now? How is having a job and just having a job and just getting by and paying the bills from the money that we make from our jobs, how's that working now in the world? It's not working well at all, is it? Now, see, entrepreneurs and people that want to go to the top in network marketing, they understand these disruptions in life. Disruptions. And we don't want our life disrupted. Not that way. We don't want to be dependent on others. We realize we have to depend on ourselves. If we want to secure a future, we have to really depend on ourselves. We won't be able to count on them. So here's the thing. We understand that leveraged income is superior to linear income, where you just trade time for money. Because the problem is, the number of problems go wrong with that. Either you run out of youth, where you cannot, you're aging, you're getting up there in years, and if you don't have enough stored back, you're in trouble. Or health, if your health declines, that can happen at any age. You can't work anymore, can't trade time for money anymore. What are you going to do? You're in trouble. Or, God forbid, you're in an accident in a car and you can't go to work anymore. Is your company going to send you a check? I spoke with a lady today, a friend today who told me that, and keep in mind, she went through breast cancer. She went through a lot. She went back to work, found out that she was exposed to coronavirus. And actually, the week before, the people that ran the office there, and there were 40 people in the office, actually knew the guy was sick and had the symptoms, but they failed to announce it last week. And then today found out, and so she was sent home, and guess what? She's not going to be paid. They sent everybody home, but nobody's going to get a paycheck now. Do you see the fallacy of that? Well, how can we entrust our future to normal people? Because that's what normal people do. See? So, that's number one. Don't try to be normal. Now, here's the second one. Work harder on yourself than you do your team. That's the second action step you need to take if you want to become great in network marketing. Work harder on yourself than you do your team. What do I mean by that? That has to do with your leadership. That has to do with who you are. People attract to you. They have to buy you before they buy your product, your opportunity. What you're really selling is you. And that's what you got to get good at. To do that, that means you got to work on you. You increase the value in yourself. And you do that by, exposing yourself to things that will help you grow. See, I could give a blueprint where I can give a person action steps, what they have to do to become a success story in network marketing. And I can say, if you do this and do that, this is the result, and this is, what you'll become. You'll become great, right? And even in providing that, we would still have the same statistic that we have today of those that don't make it in network marketing. And why is that? because it has to do with psychology. It has to do with state. You see, I can give them the blueprint, but if they really believe deep down they can't do it, they won't do it. They won't do it. You can send them to all the John Maxwell courses, they won't do it. I don't care what you indoctrinate them with, until we change the psychology, nothing's going to change. And that's the reason why so many fail. So many. So the thing about it is, we have to understand it's all about personal mastery. Personal mastery. That is working harder on ourselves. Like I give you my Tony Robbins story, because many of you saw how I went to a lot of Tony's events. In March of 1993, I was broke, I was bankrupt. Now, I knew how to promote things. I had been in network marketing for 14 years. I toyed with it. It was like a hobby to me. But the fact is, my psychology was wrong. And it wasn't until I started listening, I mustered up what money I had, and I bought his cassette tapes. If you don't know what a cassette is, Google it. I bought his cassette tapes called Personal Power. It was based on his book, Unlimited Power. And every day I pop a cassette in, take notes, and apply it. I go for walks and just think how I'm going to apply it. And so that had such a great impact on me that when I started developing a team, that started coming out. I worked harder on myself. I knew I could not lead a team until I could first lead myself. I can't give what I don't have. So I needed to have an abundance of it. That was back in March of 1993. It changed my life. So again, work harder. Number 2, action step is work harder on yourself than you do your team. So now the third action step is that you need to have impact before income. So now that we worked harder on ourselves, now it's very important that we mentor and help those people in our team. We have to understand that if we're it's not that we're not good, it's just that we're not wired right. We're not wired properly. So we just have to get the wires properly in place. And that's really what it's all about, the psychology of success. That once we've worked harder on ourselves, that's the next step, is having impact before income. Impact means those people that we impact in our team. Do we take the time, help mentor them, understand they're probably not wired right either? So I don't expect those people to perform really any better than myself until that is really fixed. So there might be some things, some books I'll suggest to them. And that's what I would do. But we have to understand, if we want to really be great in this, we have to give away what we have. So that's a great thing to do. People, if you look at, like people right now, do you see fear in people right now? I see a lot of fear. I was in one group that I recently pulled out of because there's just too much focus on the problem, not the solution. So what can we do as leaders now when we work harder on ourselves and we give away what we have become, and we become a light to others that are in darkness? We become a person of courage to others who need courage, and we can help them say, hey, you know what? Tough times come, but it doesn't last. Tough people last. So here's the thing. We just got to provide that leadership to our friends, to people that are in our team, and then do everything we can to help people. And that even means our neighbors, by the way. Anybody that you're in contact with, and because here's what we got to understand is that people are looking for one thing today: leadership. And they just don't know where to look for it sometimes. They really don't. I thought it was interesting that it was pointed out. I read this last night. I forgot the doctor that's always standing next to President Trump, the guy with the gray hair, glasses. He's the authority, right? January 21, he was saying nobody in America needs to be worried about coronavirus. And he's the top authority, right? January 21, nobody needs to be worried about it. 2.5 months later, now you have a nation in fear. So the thing is, leadership. In the absence of leadership, people are afraid. So the thing is, do what you can. When you invest in yourself, give it back out to others, pay it back to others, in your downlines, in your team, in your community, wherever whenever you talk to people or, whoever these people are, give it back. Make them feel safe around you. People are looking for leadership. And if they see you as a leader, it doesn't matter what your product is. They'll follow you. They'll join you. They don't even know the name of your product, and they haven't even used it yet. It's a fact. That's how it works. People buy you before they buy your opportunity. If you want to have a downline like I've had for 21 plus years, that's how I did it. I'm giving you a nuance from my book because I was there for my people. Now, here's number 4, and that is you are not your circumstances. I don't know your circumstances right now. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're at your worst, if you're like me, bankrupt back in March of 1993, bankrupt and broke. It doesn't matter what your circumstances are. See, there's a difference between broke and poor, isn't it? Poor is a state of mind. Broke is a set of circumstances. And I promise you, when the smoke rises after this, there's going to be a lot of broke people. And they're going to be looking for opportunity. Are you going to be there for them? So you may be looking at your circumstances saying, well, I'm not doing too good right now, Jeff. I mean, it's pretty tough right now. That's right, but you are not your circumstances. Understand, this is going to pass. This is going to change, right? If you have a downline now, you're going to have a downline then. If you have an income now, you're going to have an income then. Matter of fact, when I looked at all these businesses, everybody's closing their doors and people are going home, and network marketing is getting better. It's getting better. That's right. Why is it that way? Because that's the way it was set up from the beginning. We were never dependent on employees. We were never dependent on an employer. We never had a brick and mortar operation. I didn't have to have trucks on the road. It is so untraditional, which is why some hate it, right? Our critics. It is so untraditional, but that's what makes it perfect. Because we're not dependent on those things. Look how well we're doing. And so the thing about it is you're going to see that a lot of people are going to be very open to your business opportunity. Open to it. Because the media has indoctrinated them so much that they need to take charge of their own health. And number 2, they need to work from home. Wow. How many network marketing companies and leaders out there have that type of business going on? So many do. Just remember, you're not your circumstances. Your circumstances can change, but what's going to change it is going to be you. It's going to be your attitude. So do everything you can to keep yourself very positive, especially now, because now is the harvest season. You say, well, Jeff, we're going into spring. Oh, no. The earth is going into spring. Your business is getting ready to go into the fall. That's right. Because so many people are in a state of readiness. If you're in the United States, and people that you know in the United States, they're all home, and they have nothing but time. And you've been trying to get their attention for so long. So this is the time for harvest. And if you hustle, your business, your life, everything is going to change. You are not your circumstances. But to change your circumstances, that takes action. And you're going to have to get busy. And you're going to have to start calling these people. Don't text them. Pick up the phone, okay? Or use your phone. take action and do it massively. Massively. I challenge you. Run for 90 days. Go from ache to faint. I hear some people say, well, let's run hard for 14 days. Oh, come on, that is so wimpy. You got a harvest season. How long does a harvest season last? Not very long. And we're going to go for 2 weeks? That's so wimpy. You got nothing but time? They got nothing but time? Well, what are we going to do the rest of the time? Watch TV? Who's got time for that? I want to build a future. I don't want to watch the lifestyles of the rich and famous. I want them watching me. I want them watching you. No, this is an opportunity, but if you want to be great, if you want to change your circumstances, you need to hustle like a madman. I don't take days off. I don't. That doesn't mean I don't go out in the garden. I'm saying I'm very focused on what I want to accomplish. So, think about that. So you're not your circumstances. And if we look at somebody, and I think when I was a kid, I remember reading the book Helen Keller. That really inspired me. You know, she was the first deaf and blind person to get a bachelor's in art degree. Now here's some quotes. I decided to use her because if anybody had wanted to have an excuse to do nothing and remain in their circumstances, she did. I thought these are some powerful quotes for people wanting to be successful in the network marketing profession. Here's what she said. We can do anything we want to do if we stick to it long enough. Beautiful. Beautiful. If we stick to it long enough. Here's something else that she said, and that is, self-pity is our worst enemy. Talk about your circumstances, self-pity. We don't have time for that. Now here's one I really love. I love this one. It's a terrible thing to see and have no vision. Isn't that something? Coming from a blind woman. It's a terrible thing to see and have no vision. This is a time for vision. So you're not your circumstances. That was the fourth one. Now, fifth one is you can't move forward looking in the rear view mirror. You can't move forward looking in the rear view mirror. Imagine trying to drive a car that way. You would crash, right? But I've seen it happen all the time. Tony Robbins always said the past doesn't equal the future. Back in March of 1993, I remember that. When I was broke and I could hear Tony saying that. And it was like music to me because I experienced so much failure that's all I focused on. Now, too many people come in this business and they're playing rewind. They're rewinding. And what they're seeing and what they're thinking about and what they're tapping into emotionally is everything that was negative and painful in their life. And then they're thinking, you know what? This probably isn't going to be any different. When I have other people that join our team, maybe from another company, came over, I'd ask them, well, how was your experience with that other company? Oh, well, it was, and they start dumping all this negativity and how bad it was and how, So, here's what I tell them. Listen, I really appreciate you, and it's great to have you aboard, but I want to give you some advice. Dump all that negative baggage out. I don't want you using that as a reference for the future. If you use failure as a reference for the future, I promise you're going to prove yourself right and you're going to fail. And that's the problem with it. The problem is we focus too much on the past. And I'm guilty of it. I was guilty of it before I joined my last company 21 years ago. I thought, well, see how long this one stays around. I remember saying that. I didn't have a lot of confidence. I came in very cautious. But here's the thing. We've got to learn to let go of the past. If we want a better future, we got to forget those unpleasant experiences that we had in the past, whatever they were. either a failed marriage or a failed business or in a network marketing company and it didn't work out, whatever it is, dump it. Do not allow it to control your feelings about where you are in life right now. Most important, most important. You can't move forward looking in the rear view mirror. It's very important to remember that past doesn't equal the future. Now, here's number 6. Plan your work and work your plan. Plan your work and work your plan. So how much time and work that goes into your leveraged income business is dependent on how big your dream is. Now, I want that to sink in. So then how much work and time that's going to go in your leveraged income business depends on how big your dream is. Now, some people, their dream is not that big. For some people, they just want an extra $1,000 a month. But for other people, they say, no, I want to exit out of my job. I've seen what's happened through this whole coronavirus thing. I trusted in, in a company, and look where I am now. I'm home, I'm stuck, there's no money coming in. Man, that's a bad reality. They said, I want something much bigger. I want to become a 7-figure earner. That's my goal. So here's the thing, what we have to understand then, and that is this, that you have to plan it out. That is, plan your work, work your plan. When you think about it, it's like building let's say like a foundation. A foundation, let's say for a 3-story house like I'm in right now. That kind of foundation work versus a foundation work for like the Twin Towers, 110 stories, do you think you would have a different foundation? Absolutely you would. Why? Because you're carrying such a heavy load. This is going to be a monster. This thing's going to be big. Therefore, the amount of work and time that goes into the foundation is going to be huge compared to a 3-story. And I can tell you, we did a lot of foundation work on this place. I couldn't believe how much concrete we poured just for a 3-story addition. So the thing about it is, the problem with some people is in the foundation period, they come in with expectations that this thing should shoot up very quickly, that the results and the money that they're going to get should be very quick. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't. How many of you have ever been to New York City and you went to the 9/11 memorial? If you did, you have a very good idea on how big that foundation work was. The thing was a freaking monster, because that's all that's left. So the thing is, what we have to understand is when we commit to this business, it's going to take time. So much time goes into the foundation work. It seems like most of the time goes into the foundation work. And it's like you're looking at it and saying, when's this thing going to get moving? And then all of a sudden, it starts shooting up. And when it shoots up, it shoots up. I can remember when my team organization went from sales team, it went from 100,000. I can remember when I hit my first $1 million month. Incredible, incredible. But that was many, 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 many years ago. And then March was almost unbelievable how much growth we had. You had that too in your company. Most network marketing companies had incredible growth. So just understand this, that it takes time, so give it time. And just understand that when we talk about foundation work, we're talking about what? What is your foundation? It's people. It's people in your team. Making sure your people are trained. Make sure that they know what they're doing. Make sure they're equipped. They have the tools they need. We have the assumption that our leaders know what to do, but it's interesting when you go down 3 levels and you start talking to people that join, nobody's equipped them at all. It's like, guys, what the heck are you doing? Why are you not teaching them these things? It's interesting when you do that. Then you see the importance of, you got to have a strong system. So all part of that is the foundation work. So let's talk about number 7, and that is this. Success is not final. Realizing that success is not final. And that came from Winston Churchill. And that is, when you build your business and you have an income coming in now, and you've experienced leveraged income, what a lot of people do is they start partying, they can't even say it right, partying, and have a good time. I mean, they're so busy just having a good time, they're not showing up. They're not showing up for their Zoom calls or Facebook page. They don't post that much, or they're not coming to conventions and things like that. That is a disaster. That's a recipe for disaster. So we have to understand that success is not final. The things that got us where we are the same things that we need to execute day after day, day after day. We never get to a point and say, well, I'm retired. Anybody that says that in network marketing, that's like financial suicide. I'm retired? Well, then what are your leaders going to do? Retire? If everybody retires, then where's your income coming from? There's no growth, and I've seen it. I've seen it. And then what happens is they start ranking back. Their incomes crash. Then they're blaming their upline, blaming their downline, when they should be blaming themselves, because they're the ones that set that up. That's right. Remember, the speed of the leader determines the speed of the team. When do you want that speed to slow down? I don't want it to slow down. I always want to have progressive forward movement always in a team. Now, it doesn't mean we always have to run crazy, but we always need to be moving forward. So what does that mean then? But what you might be thinking, well, Jeff, what's this whole thing about the dream and getting to the life and doing what you want? Well, let me tell you, a lot of that is bull crap. A lot of that is a myth. Yes, you can have those things. But where in the book did it say that we exit? Where in the book did it say that we're not going to be the standard for the team? That we're not going to be an example? That we're going to go off the radar? We're not going to be around anymore? See, that story has been sold wrong. It's been sold wrong in such a big way. So the thing about it is, we have to understand is that we need to be present, even if it's on a part-time basis. That's right. Part-time is okay. No time, that's not okay. That's financial suicide. And I've seen others do it in my team. And I think March was a big wake-up month for them. I think that was very encouraging. But that's the thing that we want to do, is just remember, success is not final. You know, the people that helped get us where we are, and again, it wasn't about us. Because a lot of people think, well, the reason why I got to that level where I am is because of my greatness. No, it wasn't. It had nothing to do with your greatness. It had to do with your team. It had to do with the people below you. That's how you make your money. Now, they believed in your leadership. They believed in that. But it was people that got you there. So therefore, there's a debt to be paid there. And that is, now we have to help our leaders get to where they want to be. And it may not be at the rank that you are, or the rank I am. May not. But our job now is, you helped me, by golly, I'm going to help you. That needs to be the attitude. So when so many I've seen do this, where they just disappear and they go to sleep, success coma, it's not a good thing. So success is not final. Stay and pay attention to that. And so then number 8, and that is, always remain teachable and adaptable. Teachable and adaptable. I've been involved in network marketing for over 40 years, and I can tell you, at least every 10 years, there's a paradigm shift. A paradigm shift. in the way that we as a society get information, communicate information, methods that we choose. So much of that changes. I can remember 40 years ago when we had nothing but a brochure, right? And the product. We didn't know what we were doing. We thought it was all about selling product. That's right, all about selling product. But the thing is, as things evolved, then the next thing I know, we have this thing called a VCR. You can pop a tape in, and with your prospect, sip coffee, and then let someone else present. We had a slide projector. We had a board, markers that we could use. We were explaining team building. Later, we got cell phones that looked like walkie-talkies. Then it was conference calling. Man, was that cool. You wouldn't even have to leave the driveway, and you could have hundreds of people on a conference call. Man, was that cool. Of course, the internet, we don't want to forget that. And then finally, more shifts, more paradigm shifts. Then it's social media. What the heck is this about? You know, what's really funny is that a lot of people out there think if they have a Facebook page that they're an authority on social media, that they know how to use it. Crazy. But I'm saying so much has changed and shifted. And what I've noticed in 40 years is it only made what we do easier, better, and we made more money when we used it. There's always the resistance by traditional networkers who say, nah, tell you what, got in my company 20 years ago. I know what I did back then. That's what worked. That's what we're always going to do. That's what I teach my team. Yeah, I know we haven't grown in 10 years. Volumes are down, but we love one another. So, don't be one of those, okay? Be progressive. Adapt, change, be teachable. I'm telling you, man, I got some of my upline, they're not. Man, I mean, it's like they're frozen in the past. Many are frozen in the past. Don't be like that. Don't be like that. Remain teachable. So, and then number 9 is when you run out of ranks, remember this. You never run out of levels. And what I mean is in your company. See, I've been at my top rank. There are no more ranks. That's it. It's been that way for many, many, many years. But you know what? There's always another level. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about personal growth. That what we realized was really true about network marketing. That network marketing is a personal growth program with a compensation plan attached to it. It's all about growing. What amazes me is that when people get to these ranks and they don't invest in themselves anymore, it's like, well, I got what I want. Well, I hope you wanted more than just money. Why do I go to Tony Robbins events? Because I want to grow. I want to find and meet new people. I want to see what they're doing with their lives. And I've met incredible people. Oh my gosh. When I'm home, I want to listen to Tony's stuff, man. I love it. I plug into other mentors as well. There's a lot of great material out there. But what I'm saying is, I want to grow. I want to go to that next level. Whatever that level is. And I have these aha moments. Sometimes it's in the gym or going for a walk and I'm thinking about what I just learned. You have to grow, friends. If you don't, you're dying. You're not going to be happy. I don't care how much money you have. I don't care what kind of house you live in. It doesn't matter. That's the thing. And so, and lastly, 10, and because I got to get on a Zoom call very quickly. 10, remember this, the 3 S's. The 3 S's. And this is the process we go through that hopefully we can reach the last S. And these 3 S's I'm talking about are sustenance, success, significance. Sustenance, success, significance. Sustenance, I need to pay the bills. And that may be where some of you are in your network marketing company right now. So this is the harvest season. As I mentioned, a lot of people home, a lot of people with time. You need to be very busy. So we have the goal to want to pay the bills. Nothing wrong with that. We got to do that. Take care of our families. Okay, that's great. I want to see your company do that for you. It will do that for you. But you have to take action, right? Number 2, success. We're not in sustenance anymore. Now we've experienced the success that network marketing can give a person. Nice car, nice home, nice vacations, even though right now we're not flying anywhere. But also you're home with your family. You're not worried about money when you're at that point. Things are good. But the last S is significance, and that's different. Because once a person reaches that level, and they get there by asking questions, because think about it, the things that you hope for in sustenance and success, like cars, houses, money in the bank, once you have those things, do you hope for them anymore? No, because you have them. Then what do you hope for? What is going to drive you to that next rank, to that next level? Different set of questions. What is my life all about? And then you realize your life is not defined by cars, by houses, or by money. That it's got to be greater things that you're defined by and known for. And that, my friend, is true success when you get and experience the state of significance. Because then it's not about you anymore. You have nothing to do with it. It's all about other people. And it's about what you give other people, how you impact other people. And what's interesting is that the more you impact them, you'll notice how your income increases, how it goes up. It's amazing. It's phenomenal. I know I've experienced it. I just got reminded of it today. But I'm telling you, there's not a better life than a life of significance. Because it's all about contribution. It's not about what you get, it's about what you give. So those are the 10 areas, and hi Teresa, that I wanted to share with you tonight. And now I got to get on a conference call and share the same information with a lot of great people in the Philippines, but I wanted to give it to you leaders around the world. I love you very much. Be safe, okay? And take care of yourself and be positive. Don't tap into fear. Watch the news, stay glued to the news. The news isn't going to tell you anything good. What we have to be is a source of good news to people, not a source of bad news. So let's step up, let's be leaders, and let's make incredible contribution to our leaders as well as to our communities. I wish you all the best. Take care. Have a good night. And you can share this too with your leaders if you want to give them some value. Have a good night.